out October 2024.
I said it all along. We were telling him who we needed to contact because this was fraud. Even when my dad spoke to Lou on the phone, the criminal, I was there listening into the conversation and said, "You are a fraudster, you are a criminal, you've taken the money, you have no intention of giving it back, and yet you want more money."
So how come Ian was still paying money if you knew about it? And he still paid money from July, £800 to that criminal we've just heard on the phone.
Which has made me frustrated because I've said to him, please don't pay him because he's not legit. You know, he is a criminal and he's going to speak just wanting to take your money. We were just like banging our heads against the brick wall because we kept on telling him, please don't pay any money. And I know that he was just saying he was doing it out of desperation. I knew that he was under the spell and delusional that he would get this money back. So it took a lot for us to finally get through to him until it happened again in July. The only way we found out was because he'd not paid his rent. And we found out that the reason why he'd not paid his rent was because he was saving up money. And that's a hard thing. I know he's going through a lot and I understand that.
But you still love him.
No. It's a hard one to say, but you know, for him to do what he's done, and I know he's a victim too. Honest answer, no. It's destroyed the family a lot of this because of what's happened.
It's done irreparable damage to my relationships with my wife and with Louise here, and that breaks my heart.
How was it just hearing, she's sitting right next to you, as Louise saying, when I asked her, do you still love him? And she said no.
It breaks up management agency. I've got to get management plan in place to help me get over this so I don't have to go and sneak behind my wife's back. And we've got more transparency now than ever. Sadly, it's taken something like this to do that. It'll be a long process of rebuilding the trust with my wife and also with my daughter. What I've done. I'm not proud of it. I'm deeply ashamed, to be honest, Sherry. But this will help, I think.
Are you under a spell?
I think I was at the time. But that's
A bunch of criminals. And Ian searched them online. He would have found a warning on the website of the Financial Conduct Authority, and it says UK credit lenders is not authorised by them.
Will Ian get any of this money back?
Well, Barclays say they tried everything to stop Ian sending money. Barclays told me they first warned him on the phone back in April 2022 that something wasn't right. Then they delayed lots of those 186 payments. Then they stopped payments, and they even invoked a very powerful bit of legislation called the Banking Protocol, and that said that he had to go into the branch. And finally, in March 2024, Barclays closed down his account altogether, but Ian got a different account in a different bank and kept on paying. Now, I've been in touch with HSBC, where Ian's joint account with his wife is held, and they told me just last night, overnight, that they are reopening the case in the light of new information that's come to them. And in the meantime, Ian has complained to the Financial Ombudsman Service, and they're still considering that complaint.
What this week highlights their rapid growth here in the UK over the last few years. From more than 200 in 2019 to over 1,000 now. It's estimated that between them, the UK cafes fixed 55,000 items last year alone. Catherine Earlham went to the Huddersfield Repair Cafe, where an organiser, Richard Byrne, gave her a tour.
for the celebrating things that are broken. Some of them that have been broken for years, or some of them that have only broken recently. And they bring things in. We get them checked in on our little front desk here and find out the fault. And then me and the other front of house people, we work out which fixes are the perfect match for which item.
Okay, so shall we have a look?
So, can you just tell us what this is?
So this is a voice box out of this chimp. The chimp I got when I was like 7, so about 45 years old. So I only had it about a year and it broke.
And you kept it all this time?
Yeah.
Why did you keep it all this time?
Because it's a chimp, it's mine.
It's obviously very special to you.
So you want to go up to a box?
So they're going to get it fixed for you today?
Until now.
Wow.
Quite good condition, all things considered.
And how long have you been coming down here?
I think about 5 years now.
And what do you get out of it?
Well, I like to think I'm a bit of an environmentalist. I think
there's lots of reasons that people are here. It's not just the environmental side, it's the cost of living side of things. I think. You know, it would be easy to think, okay, this has done its duty, it can go in the bin. But I think Mike feels, if you don't mind me saying, a bit of an attachment to it. And we get a lot of that as well, people who they just like what they've got.
It feels like there's also a nice community element to it.
Yeah, very much so, yeah. I think a lot of friends here now. Certainly, there are tragedies of codependence that have been cultivated.
So Mark's got a little fuse holder and he's managed to figure out that will go in the right space, and now Louis got a working slow cooker again.
Right, what else have we got in here then?
So this is the CD player that goes straight to full volume every time it's turned on.
Quite an annoying...
Back in the day, things would be designed to be fixed. They have an arrow on the plastic casing that points to where the clip is, and in the instruction manual it will say how to open it.
But obviously that mindset's gone from the way things are manufactured today.
Yeah, it is at the moment, yeah. That's...
And you're sat next to Ian, and I understand you guys have become quite close friends through this project.
Yeah, we met initially at one of the eight times to start up, and for whatever reason we just clicked. He's of my mindset, shall we say.
It's actually quite a good thing for us repairers, because we get to meet a lot of like-minded people. We've all got a certain friendship now.
It changed from being just about fixing things to it's like therapy for me.
What's been the most interesting thing that you've fixed?
We've got a cuckoo clock in here, which is like a sentimental value that I've done it, and the lady's actually here to pick it up.
Does it go cuckoo?
Yes, it definitely cuckoos.
So we're going to find Tracy and give her repaired cuckoo clock back.
I've got to ring the bell together now.
Oh, you ring the bell.
We bought this over 20 years ago, me and my sister, and she's just passed away in January, so it needed to be fixed because I haven't got her in it. They had a family in Germany that sold them in the Polpero shop in Conrad.
So you're just showing me a photo of you and your sister in the cuckoo shop.
Yes.
That's when we bought it.
That's when we
When
bought it.
we were on holiday together.
We were on holiday, yeah. She went back the year after and bought herself one because she loved mine so much.
So it's precious memories then.
Absolutely. So he's repaired the clock, but he's also repaired the memory as well.
Moment of truth then. Truth, absolutely.
Amazing.
What do you think of the repair cafe and what they do?
Fantastic. It's that memory behind.
Yeah, my days that. I've enjoyed doing it, and I get to see that, and I've made up now.
So we've got some good news on Charlie. Charlie the chimps.
Okay, let's go back through. Peggy and her chimp, Charlie, yeah. I believe we have some good news.
We certainly do. We have a voice box and that kind of works.
So you haven't heard that for 45 years?
It's you, now I'm kind of.
I'm going to set you off again.
No, I want to get back in.
So how do you feel?
So I feel fantastic actually.
And well done to you. It's a
No problem.
Well done, John.
Well done. Well done.
Oh, that was a happy birthday, wasn't it? The Huddersfield Repair Cafe. In case you're wondering, we did manage to fix the CD player as well. They emailed Catherine about it later on. Fiona D is the co-director of the Restart project and helps support repair shops and the repair events. So Fiona, you're in a repair cafe yourself, I know. What we just heard there in Huddersfield, is that typical of what happens at these places?
Yeah, it's very typical. Although I must say, I think we need to get a bell because that's a great idea.
Yeah, what a lovely
But yeah,
idea, yeah.
Isn't it lovely? Yeah. No, but it's very typical. We have a lot of electricals. I'd say about 95% of the things that come in are electricals. And there's loads of demand for that. But then we also just get quirky things. I was helping to show somebody how to open up some toy Dalmatians of UK repair cafes at the Community Repair Network /find. So if you go to that website, you can find the repair cafe nearest to you, and you'll be able to see when they're up, when it's on, and what sort of things they repair.
Community Repair Network /find services in the next year. Only 1 in 10 said they felt extremely confident that they had funding to continue operating over the next year. Well, Well, there are more than 800 not-for-profit centres. Rachel from Bristol went for help to Talking Money. She was struggling to cope after deaths in her family and problems with her health.
Everything just got on top of me, and I was in financial difficulty with debt. I was on £280 a month. My electric, my gas, I'm now able to get taxes. It just made a big difference in my life. I can't explain, I get upset about this, but I can't explain how important it is for anybody that can give funding to advice centres. I would do so, because if it wasn't for me, I don't.
Flexible in-person service, we can do home visits, we really get to know our community, and we can really take that time up front to understand what's going on. So it's not a digital service for people who then also struggle with the digital literacy piece.
So how financially secure is your centre?
Well, I mean, advice centres across the country, as you said in the opening segment, are struggling. It is a kind of hand-to-mouth existence year on year. By this stage in the year, we normally have about 50% of our income secured for the future year, and that's typical of other advice agencies. As Anna's already said, lots of trusts and foundations are reducing or changing the way they fund things. In addition to that, many advice services are supported by local authorities, and they're facing their own constraints. So we're aware of some of our members who are already having to reduce their services. Some are facing closure because that local authority support and funding is ended.
You mentioned local authorities. In Anna's case, they're contributing 11% of their running costs. Is that typical?
I think it varies, but I think the main point that we at Advice UK would want to raise is that at the moment, advice services, which we believe, as Rachel described, are life-changing for many people at the point where they're at crisis, are not a statutory duty or obligation, not feeling vulnerable year on year.
Anna Brown, did any of that extra government money filter down to you in Bristol?
Yeah, there's something called the Household Support Fund, which helped our services last year, and it
goes out to Ian and his family. Ian's very brave putting this story out there. He doesn't have close family support when he's working away, and that means decision making is more difficult. I feel that made his debt more difficult for him to deal with. Thanks for getting in touch. That's it for today. Tomorrow there's no unions, but Evan Davis is here with the bottom line, and at 12:30 there is a sliced bread. Greg Foot's investigating cleaning sprays. Do you really need all those separate sprays, one for the bathroom, one for the kitchen, or is there one spray to rule them all? That's tomorrow. Thank you for listening today.
Juniors was produced in Salford by Catherine Earlham. It's a BBC Audio North production. Matt Taylor is here with the weather forecast. And Matt, is it just me, or it feels abnormally warm for this time of year?
It does, in fact, yeah, right across the country today. And that's because it's these areas where the cloud will continue to break up. We'll see some sunny spells for a time, but it's the exception rather than the rule, because across the rest of England, so that's northern England, the West Midlands, southwest England, also all of Wales and eastern Scotland, not only is it cloudy, it's very misty, and heavy rain will continue to work northwards across northern England and eastern Scotland. Also see rain across other parts of England and Wales for a time, but gradually clearing from the south and west later on. And another pretty mild night, temperatures 11 to 15 degrees. As for tomorrow, well, across the bulk of England, with the exception, well, let's start with North East England, the Midlands, East Anglia, South East England, and the Channel Islands. Overnight rain and clouds should clear quite quickly. Mist and fog patches here. Lovely day, much brighter day, lots of sunshine around, and lighter winds. For North West England, Wales, South West England, and Northern Ireland, whilst there'll be some sunny spells, a few scattered showers will appear. Most though